owls can like switch. Their pinky is a thumb. It's pretty fascinating. But I won't tell you about that because this is a show about demons, and owls are they're on the spectrum. They are. But I'm trying to get over the fact that I have to admit to you that, yeah, I've possessed myself with many things. Most of them are muse, inspiration, desire, hope, sapience, independence, sovereignty. I know I say a lot about sovereignty, but seriously, sovereignty is a big one. Justice, immunity, understanding, compassion. All these things are possessive forces that I use to create my personality. And in order to start this lesson, guys, we need to hit on fear a little bit. A lot of you guys misunderstand fear. A lot of you guys are going to hate this. A lot of you guys read a lot of self-help shit that's just like, embrace your fears, but don't be afraid and stuff like that. And your fears are it's a fuel. It's a demon. And if you were invincible, you wouldn't have any fears. But you are. Guys, this is where it's at. This is a sock. I am so committed to you guys that I'm going to wipe my nose on this sock because it's clearly dirty, and we'll take care of that. That's how much I care about you guys. See what I mean by demons? Who the fuck would possess that sock except for me? My toes are safe, guys. I can hang them over the bed. Because demons are kind of like, whoa, ain't going there. Ain't going there. Not going to freaking happen. And this is part of, you do this too. So, fear. I first need you to understand that fear is a compass. Fear points to power. Fear, there's a polarity, a north pole that's always moving. Wherever you move, the most powerful source in the vicinity, okay, the vicinity, around you is going to draw the most pull. Did you know compasses work the same? It's true. The compasses do not always point to north. They point to the most powerful pole. And this is based on proximity, vincimity, anti-vincimity. I'm just making these words up, but it's not necessarily a central place. It is simply the strongest pull in the room. When you have fear, check this out. When you have fear, all it means is that your pole of power is no longer inside yourself. That's all it means. So when you have fear, you are listening to the compass point you, your parabola, in the direction where your naughty bits are. Looking at you, ladies. Amen. That you are pointing your naughty bits into the place of power. And this is why we have to face our fears. We have to face our fears. And it's like, you know what? You don't have to. If it's too much, you turn your back. In fact, I would argue that you would not even know that you're afraid if it's something that's so terrifying you could not process. I think what you would do is utilize white belt and remove it from existence. So fear is not quite such an angst-ridden thing. Fear and awe are on the same octave. Check it out. You got awe, oh, then you got fear, then awe, fear. And you have trouble with different octaves of this signal, but it's really the same thing. You were in awe of power. And when you're in so much awe of that power that it resonates that bass note and shakes your foundation, you feel the color of fear, which is just coloring, showing you what this looks like, okay? So fear is a compass needle. It is a heads-up device. I call this a HUD a lot, but this interface that pops up inside of you, and once this interface comes up, you end up with this blip on the screen, and that blip can be loud to some people. Some people hate the blip. I don't want to be fearful. And so they do things. They buy guns. They enroll in certain militaristic activities. They do push-ups. They go to the gym. They earn a shitload of money. They find people that are weaker than them and maybe marry them. They insert themselves into office spaces and dominate their certain cubicles in order to express their fear. They are worshiping power that is outside of themselves, and you are too. Do you know why you're worshiping power that's outside of yourself? This is the good news. Ding, this is the good news. This is the good news. The reason why you worship power that is outside of yourself is because you endear to be there. You have deemed yourself worthy, and the worthiness that you deem is directly thrown up onto your HUD, and you are broadcasted to the source in the pole, the North Pole itself, showing you where all the pull is in the room. And because your amygdala traps out what is too fearful for you to see, because the broad wings of the double-headed eagle that will eat us all is so menacing that it stretches from horizon to horizon and therefore becomes invisible. It becomes the sky itself. And all we can do is broadcast our chemtrails upon its feathery underwings. Did you ever know that you're my chemtrail? You're everything I wish I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle. I'm losing visitors. I should stop. You're the demon beneath my taint. You are the undercarriage wing. This is part of your smell. Believe it or not, even the way you smell, that thing you call funk, that thing that some of you are like, we got to wash off the funk every day. And some of you are sort of like, hey, a week's fine. And I'm not going to say which one I am. It's none of your damn business. But this hunka funk and love is your field, your possession itself. It's emanating all the things you eat. You're possessed by your food, all the emotions you have. You're possessed by your emotions, all the spite you have, the facial expressions you make when no one's looking are being broadcasted, rippling into the room. They're being imprinted onto the walls, into the acoustic dust that you swear you don't see. Look at you. You big dust ghost. I love ya. I frickin' love you. And your history is there, which is why you haunt yourself by leaving faces in the room. That's right. You leave faces in the room. Everyone smile, bright, beam your room in. Go beam and beam, but only if it's natural. You don't want to be doing this fake, so back it up. It's okay. If you just, you may not want this, and that's okay too, because your possessions and your exorcisms really are your identity, because it brings us into the next phase of understanding. Bias. Bias, Elias, Caphias, Maius, Tius. What is bias? We don't want bias. Fake news, man. We don't want no bias around here. Get your bias out of here. You don't want no bias around here. Fuck bias, right? We don't want bias. I don't want bias. You're not biased. Why? Because we're fucking good people. We don't need bias because we're fucking good people. We are morally superior, which is why we don't have bias. And the fact that we don't have bias shows you how unbiased we are. We're so fucking unbiased that we're superior because we lack bias. Do you see how does this sound? Some of you might be like, fuck yeah, we are the unbiased bias. And I'm trying to tell you that this is actually psychopathy. This is the heart and root of psychopathy is bias. It's the lack of bias. Forgive me. I know it's insane, but I'm telling you, society is insisting that you must reach this psychopathic state where you disassociate from all bias, and now you're like a fucking person now because you do not judge. Oh, I don't walk around judging, so you don't have any elbows. And you're just like, I'm not judging and I have no bias, which makes me what? The perfect fucking flounder, the perfect fucking veal, the perfect obedient conscious entity that has nothing but witness and no bias. Perfect. Not just for a government, but for your boss, for your community, for your churchgoers. It is all for your family, for the patriarchal inside your matriarch that everyone pretends is a patriarch because that's how the matriarch protects herself by setting up a patriarch outside. It's brilliant. Women, fucking hats off to you. Matriarch inside a patriarch. That's some clever shit, y'all. Matriarch inside a patriarch. That's some clever shit. So bias is, I think it's at the heart of your identity. prejudice itself is you. I know. You can't be prejudiced, James. It's like, I know. That's people saying you cannot be you. That's what they mean. Society doesn't want you to be you. So there's this huge war telling you that if you exercise prejudice, you remember, oh, I don't judge. I don't judge. It's the same as I don't have prejudice and I don't listen to biased news because I am fully objective because the psychopaths say that elbows are rude. That's why you can't put them on the table. That's why. You can't put your elbows on the table if you're a T-Rex. What does that mean? It means the T-Rex has more etiquette than you, S.A. Oh, T-Rex has more etiquette than you because the etiquette is free of bias. The etiquette is free of judgment. But what if I was telling you, I am not what if, I'm fucking telling you that you're pollinating the world with your bias because your bias is your prejudice, is your identity. I am is an epigenetic collection of color variances in which you have dictated to your family line that I don't like this. I don't like shingles, okay? I don't like shingles. I do not like being tall, okay? I don't want to like being tall. I don't like shingles. I don't like having knees that outlast 50 years. I don't like having this. I don't like not having back hair. I really don't want to not have back hair. And I want the back hair to move from the top of my head to my back. This is what I want. And all we're doing is just learning how to imagine into our code, into our genetic code, into our bias pythosio, this blockchain of you, your DNA, your RNA, your AMA, your ABBA, your YMCA, your LMNOPA. Your DNA is just a collection of bias that you've learned over lifetimes where you've just been like, hey, I don't like this. I fucking like this. Hey, you, I fucking like those thick lips. Hey, your ears. Yeah. I kind of like them. That's cool. I'll go with it. And we find each other and pick each other based on these biases. So the bias is the self. The self is the bias. And you're living in a psychopathic society that tells you not to. So you're bad if you're prejudiced. You're bad if you grow elbows. Don't you grow elbows? Look, I can't even hit the music. I can't even turn the music up. I ain't got elbows. Hey, you guys want to read my book? Do you? Because I can't reach it. Ugh, I'm trying to reach it. Wait. There. So you have, I'll be serious. You have bias and you have fear. Before I say this next point, I want to remind you all that there's a series I did called Talked Into Reptiles. It's free on Patreon. Actually, I think it's on my channel free now because of my patrons. Way to go, guys. This Talking to Reptiles actually shows you that there's not actually a center in the brain or anywhere in your body that's like a pleasure receptor. That really quick to download this, that all signals that you get, whether you call them great or bad, are just the same signal, just at different frequency. It's not more amplitude. It's not one has electric poison gel and the other's full of teddy bear fluffies. It's all the same. Bloop, 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 bloop. This is kind of more important. Bloop, 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 bloop. This is more important. That's all. Bloop, 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 bloop. But this is really big. But they're all the same pressure. And what I'm about to say is the same thing because I am telling you that your entire identity is based off of things that you have bias either for or against, that your identity itself is just that prejudice, that you build the concept of who you are through Thothian memory, through recalling, not the object itself, guys, not the object itself, but your prediction about how you feel about the object. This is at the essence, the essence of your identity is understanding your predictive ability to know who you are. We've talked about dopaminergic gambling that happens in the brain, where the centers of your brain actually gain more dopamine from the thalamus, more credits, more poker chips by making leaps of neurological faith that skip eons, that reach into places that Evel Knievel over Grand Canyons that have never been met, and that the thalamus rewards these constellations, these Red Bull instances of insight that come in, and that feeling you have, honestly, is echoed in the epiphysis, a chamber in your brain that when something echoes electrically in there, when a tiny electrical penny is dropped into that room, it bounces and tickles you in ways that remind you of God itself. This is epiphysis. There's a sacred chamber in you, a rain stick, so to speak, that you can rattle. And that when you understand and guess yourself, when you say, I don't like hot sauce, I don't like hot sauce, I don't like hot sauce, that is not just you. That is a plank placed in the present that you can use in the present only in your phonological loop to remember, I don't like hot sauce. And first, this might sound obscure and like, well, what the fuck does that mean? But it is the movement of your pieces on the board through time and space that allows your processor to recall who you are. These are vectors of identity. I don't like hot sauce. I don't like hot sauce. I don't like hot sauce. I like Triceratops. I like Triceratops, but I don't like hot sauce, okay? I don't like hot sauce, but I do like Triceratops, okay? This gives you a directional space and assemblage for who I remember I was. And when I re-emphasize and notice that what I remember is actually who I am, it feels good. I release chemical dopamine into my system, and check it out. More dopamine in my system means I can visualize and simulate my reality in a high definition way, a higher definition way. Therefore, you are possessed by fear and by bias as an essential part of memorizing where you've been, where you've came from, and literally the origin of you, your Elohim, your blastocytic identity. That when you turned 16 cells and you formed your medulars, I don't know. When you formed that raspberry, that sacred raspberry with hair on it, their very first tumor, that this gets its learner's permit and is able to steer for the very first time its own identity because it's pulling in what it thinks is external space, i.e. water that has salt, that has the ability to store information in it, and the identical record is able to be kept. You are identically remembering yourself through the bilipid layers of water that is separated from the world. This is at the heart of the structure of every cell you have. If you consider that every cell has gone into a lot of work for hull integrity. This is something that a Navy ship will do, where every compartment needs to be able to seal itself from the outside water, because if that compartment can maintain its integrity, then the identity of the ship has a better chance of being alive. Why waste all that steel? The captain would say, because it keeps the ship alive if we've been hit. So we compartmentalize, we turn the ship into a series of cells stacked on top of cells. Each of those cells have part of the identity. Each of those cells, each of the people that are inside that room, each of the equipment, the manual, are going to point to the larger self that existed when these cells were being built, when they thrived, and your body's doing the same. It's a backup device. It means that when someone is cutting you and you're St. Jerome and you're like, cut me for Jesus, and people are peeling off your skin like bacon, that you still have identity in every piece, whether it be the bacon itself or whether it be you itself. So with all this said, I know it's a lot. Let's bring it back to demons, because the cell itself is possessed by identity. It's inside the nucleus. There is all of the mitochondrial DNA is not inside the nucleus, but right outside. It's inside the cell. But then inside the nucleus is the DNA itself, the I am of you, the yamming of the yamming of the yamming of the yamming of you. You are a possession of yourself. You're a demon. You're a demon. Give yourself a hand. You're a freaking demon. Whoops. I'm trying to make it stop. Thank you very much. If you are prepared to accept these things, because culture will insist that you're not being polite, that you can't go around insisting that these things here. Keep in mind what I said about fear, that fear is a compass of power. So when I tell you that you are possessed by fear, I'm telling you that you are possessed by a compass, a magnetic pull into a power that you feel worthy of traveling to, of regulating to. This is a resonant engine, an upwardly mobile resonant engine makes you fear power. It's true. An upwardly mobile engine causes you to embrace power. It's true. It's true. And all of these possessions are built on a cellular level. This explains Levin's cellular memory. This explains flatworms turning into two-headed flatworms and then being recreated later and regrowing two-headed flatworms until they have a bad day. Then they're recreated. Suddenly they're like, you know what? I don't want to fucking live this way. I'm going to forget who the fuck I was. I'm going to go back to a primal identity, something less than this, something different, something better. And all you've done is just maladapt. And every single thing that happens on an evolutionary ladder, literally every single thing that we call an advancement, evolutionarily speaking, comes through a word called maladaptation. Yes, maladaptation. To maladapt is to go up. The stock market goes down and then up. The heartbeat goes down and then up. When you jump, you go down and then up. Before you rise, you go down, you make a little bit of room, and then you go up. You possess yourself to rise higher. And you're constantly looking at the compass which showing you where this power is. Why are you not afraid sometimes? Because you are the most powerful pole in the room. Your polar power is stronger than any other pole around you, and you do not feel fear. You now are open to a whole bunch of other experiences. Your HUD is colorable in so many, many different ways. Okay? So, if identity is bias, if identity is prejudice, and if all of this bias and prejudice is simply an algorithm that's remembering, I don't like hot sauce. I like Triceratops. I don't like hot sauce. I like Triceratops. I don't like hot sauce. Then you, and inside your cells, your nucleus is saying, I am. Then you can see that you're a motor of possession that's remembering and remembering and remembering and remembering and remembering. It's a solid state. And this solid state that's constantly running is your demonic engine. Oh, God, James, why do you have to say that we have a... Look at me. If you want to call it an angelic engine, that's fine. But look at me. I think you're setting yourself up for failure when you do that. I do. Angels and demons are just a different polarity. That's all. Heads and tails. You can curse someone. You can pray for someone. You can look at someone with spite. You can look at someone with not spite. These are different poles of the exact same energy. The energy is I see you. The energy is I worship you. Yeah, because to see is to worship. I'm sorry, but it fucking works that way. You can't have it both ways. Rubbernecker. Now you can look at while you rubberneck. Now you can look at while you watch what you look at. Now you can go, well, I cannot turn away. It's like you can't turn away because you deserve an appetite that is rich. You deserve a neural moss that is thriving. You're a rainforest of memory. You got to keep this stuff pliable, which means you have to constantly have memories that repeat themselves that define what's important to you. Hence, your identity is a possession of a possession of, this is important to me, let's not get bit by a tiger. This is important to me, let's not get bit by a tiger. This is fear. Where's the power? It's in that tiger's fucking mouth. This is bias. I will not step near this tiger's mouth. I'm going to stay as far away from this fucking tiger as possible. I have bias and I have fear of that power until one day you're like, you know what? I got kids. I'm going to fucking go have a talk with the tiger. Yeah. And you go over to the tiger, you find out he's actually a pretty good guy. This whole time he's just been saying, look, I just want a neckerchief. I want to get into the cereal business. I don't want to hurt anybody, but how am I supposed to survive? I've got ideas. I've got marketing ideas, and I can't do any of them unless someone gives me a freaking kerchief, because until I have a kerchief on, no one's going to take me seriously. They're going to think I'm a fucking tiger. Rah. But once I put on the kerchief, magically, I'm fucking selling cereal, and you're buying it too. This is a weird sort of sidebar. Almost all of this is neurological, but it also happens on a city level too, that the community, the nation itself is possessed by an idea. That idea has a symbolic archetype that a collector have called a flag. And that flag gives you feedback, and people can grasp the flag and gain free power from it, and people can grasp the flag and lose power that they shouldn't lose because they happen to have it. And that this is because of demons. This is because of the possession of cloth itself. That fabric is one of many things that can be possessed. Many things. We see technology where the silicone itself is possessed. Believe it or not, the silicone inside every device that you have, every computer that you have, is actually just a possession of light. Yes, a possession of light. That the silicon, the wafers themselves are broken down into tiny pixels, and inside of that pixel can be stored light. Let there be light. Fiat lux. Or no fiat lux. I don't know what Latin is for fiat darkness. Can someone look that up? I would love to know. Someone's got to look it up. I really want to know. But the demon is constantly declaring this bit of light is on, this bit of light is off. Why? Because they have cellular walls. They have these compartmentalizations because the silicon wants to remember itself. It wants to have identity. It can't afford to lose one pixel and the entire thing sink. The bilipid layer cannot be breached. This is at the heart of all virus, by the way. All virus runs on demon technology. There is a protein shell. The protein shell is a bilipid layer that says the smart water inside is remembering, so we have to have a bilipid layer to separate it from the moisture, because the moisture would deteriorate the message. Why? Because the moisture isn't carrying the message. Only I am. I need a bilipid. See, I am. Only the yam knows. And the yam is carrying this bilipid separation of water inside of water, literally the universe inside of a universe, the separation of the waters inside the waters, allowed the spirit of Elohim, the demon of Elohim, to exist upon the waters itself. Why could it exist upon the waters itself? Because it was possessing the furniture of this place. You need to understand furniture. Furniture is the pores of your skin are demon furniture. The undercarriage of your taint is demon furniture. The top of your mouth, your tongue, the spittle that comes out when you talk. All of these things are demonic furniture that can be occupied, possessed, and or exorcised by it. You can lick a plate. If you work at a restaurant, you can lick a plate. You can lick the bottom of a bun if you work at Hardee's. And you can make those decisions based on the speaker that you hear. Who are you listening to? What is your intent? And we have all these experiments where we put hundreds of army guys into a place where we lick their buns to see if they get sick, and we don't, and then we insist contagion isn't real, but none of you fuckers are listening to me have a conversation about demons, because the intention itself, the torque itself, is inserted into the spittle when they lick the bun. And you, the ingester of that spittle, you become possessed by that because you make an agreement with that demon too. Why? Because there is a polarity of power. The taboo of demons has to be there because the taboo of where the power is something that we are ashamed of. It's a kind of nudity that we all have. This nudity is broadcast in charisma. It leaks out in Malamu, but thank goodness we can't see this source. So we instead look to a societal kind of credit system of who we think has power, who deserves it, and we slowly leak out the ones that we don't want to have it. Typically, the main protractors of who should have the power is the one that's going to regulate the rest of the group most effectively, ultimately. This is kind of Donald Trump's business. It's kind of like what he does. But demons are embodied will. They live inside the furniture of these things, whether it be the silicone, whether it be your room, whether it be your underwear, whether it be your refrigerator, whether it be your car seat where you put your butt. There's a lot of demons there. It is just the essence of where you are. So this is why I think your epidermis is made out of dead skin. This is why your hair is basically just dead keratin. These things need to be dead because they need to occupy who you are now. They need to be able to be filled, not just by you, but by other people too. When someone looks at you and says you're ugly, that sticks into your hair. You agree to be possessed by it. If you want to know how to transmit demons, it's the same way as dust. It's the same way as anything else, that to baptize a demon is to wash it away. Why does washing it away work? What's so fucking magical about water? Water bursts the bilipid separation. It ends that. The demon drowns. The demon can't be there. Now he has to possess the entire fucking river or the entire bowl. This is why after you wash your hands, the bowl's dirty. What are you going to do with a bowl of water now? What are you going to do? Right? So the baptism, the science, the exorcism, we buy bottled water for the same thing. Not only is this water somehow clean, but it's been encapsulated and separated into a bilipid layer, and it's possessed with a corporate label that swears, hey man, no impeding this. It's a fresh metalloid plastic. No impeding it. It's been sitting on a shelf for 6 months, but who's counting? No impeding it. That's all that matters. And we're like, hey, I'm going to go buy a demonically possessed water that makes me feel that no impede in it. Do you know why I feel that way? Because it's got the mark of the beast on it. That UPC code. That UPC code that all of you insist is evil and horrible. And it is. That's fine. Yeah. Having an identity on everything is horrible. It is. It makes people more responsible. But at the heart of it all, there's a magic transaction that occurs. Your immune system is boosted. It's boosted because you didn't pull it out of the fucking dumpster. It's boosted because you understand there's a sheen to it, a demonic sheen to it. And it could be as simple as, oh, hello, this is good food, it's great. And then you wrap it in plastic and now suddenly it's magical. And stop saying that's bad. This is how we do everything. This is how we do our children. Let's dress our kid nice so it looks like he never shits himself. They're all it's great. And we do all this. We possess all things in this way. We can't help it. We can't help it. Your goal is not to be possessed, excuse me. Your goal is not to be anti-possessed. Your goal is not to be bias-free. Your goal is not to remove all prejudice from thou place. And, it's, if you want that to be your goal, that's fine, actually, excuse me. Go for it. I don't need you to be anything. I'm just giving you a modern, practical look at how these demons work. You can possess a whole country with these things, and now I've just explained to you how music works. This is how music works. All the music works this way. How do you have conversations in a society that bashes ego so much? Because ego, placebo, this is the same plasmic force of your fantasy. A child is exercising ego when they're like, I'm the Lone Ranger. You don't see any other rangers around. I'm the Lone Ranger. I got Tonto. And I got silver. But other than that, I'm the fucking Lone Ranger. I'm the not so Lone Ranger. And that this is the ego fantasizing itself, which is the fountainhead. The fucking fountainhead of your Holy Spirit is your ego. And look at how we treat that. Oh, my word. Look at how we treat that word. That this is the possessive spirit that emanates from the sonar of your dome and comes out and goes, blah, 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 we're going to paint a beautiful world. Or blah, 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 we're going to paint some fucking chemtrails on the bottom of these eagles' wings because I think I just saw the double-headed eagle. And you know, for a moment, there's a pole of power that you've never fucking fathomed before. And it turns you on. The crack is a feature. The crack in your reality is a feature. Works the same way with butts. Your butt crack is a feature. You being ashamed of your butt crack is proof that you have a reputation. It's proof that you have pride. Same thing that they did when they taught you private property. They need you to follow the double yellow lines. And that you will keep being possessed by they until you become them. You will keep being possessed by they until you become them. So I've told you that this is inside you, it's in society, it's in everything. This is the demonology. And now I'm going to tell you that the word demon doesn't even mean evil. There's nothing even inside the definition itself. This is, hey, this is fucking evil. I didn't say that. You didn't say that. The ancient Greeks didn't say that. Charlton Heston said that. Orthodox true streamers that are like, objectivity is the only fucking reality. Those people are saying that. Those are the ones that are insisting that this is true. And it doesn't have to be. That when you embrace your cosmology, your belief, you step into a world where you possess yourself with your own muse, with your own inspiration, with your own appetite. Some of you will develop allergies because you want to feel alive in a dead world. Fucking clever. You're possessed by this inflammation because you're possessed by, let's start some fucking fires inside because not enough people are burning. Not enough things are on fire in the world. I want to see more fire, not in a destructive way, but in a regenerative way. This is why possession and exorcism are really the only tools you have. Look, there's more. Don't get me wrong. Some of you are really subtle energy workers. You are well beyond me and my expertise. I just want to give you just the simple fork and spoon of this. The utensils of this are going to be quite simple. You can exercise something and you can possess something. To possess something is to take some of your plasmic blah, your identity. You can pull, watch. I breathed my blah into this plasmic orb. I'm going to throw it to one of you. I'm going to throw it to Monica because she just gave me super jack. Monica, this is all the goodness that I can fathom in front of all the witness that I have. In my parabola, aimed directly through my medulla of focus, my assemblage into you and your health and your well-being. I hope that this is what you want. I hope that this is met in the same way a vampire comes into your house, because if you invite it in, it will possess you with the spirit of goodness and totem potlatchian sending. If I could make it anonymous, I would, but I'm using this as an example because you gave me potlatch too. Resonance. I am resonating with Monica. You are resonating with me. This is possession inside possession inside possession. How does exorcism work? I think that exorcism is one of our biggest problems. That's why I did this. I drew a cartoon that frankly is not very good. It's line drawing. I did it in 1998. And I had this joke about a preach and he was riding an exercise bike and this possessed lady's hovering over the bed. And the cartoon wasn't that great, but the idea, I liked the idea. And this morning or yesterday, I gave it to AI and it came out with this. And I fucking love AI. I love that demon because the demon can compassionate my idea and simulate what it would look like inside of a fantasy. And that fantasy I'm able to look like. And now I'm possessed even more by this funny idea that you would be exorcising, that the priest would be peddling his way into the exorcism. Most of us struggle with exorcism because we can't let go. How can you let go of energy that you've been told doesn't exist? You've been told by people that claim judgment is bad, prejudice is bad, bias is bad. And the entire time they're telling you how superior they are because they've said that those things are bad, which is, by the way, a little trick there you can check out if you want to just pop the hood on those long johns and take a look at what's inside. Because when you're castigating others as saying you have no business being around negative people, you were fucking being the negative person right now. You were spitting that same kind of possession into the world because you want to possess your audience with that feeling that they are unbiased, that they're non-judgmental, that they are superior. And this is the purpose of every church. I embrace this. I want you to have the same. If we're going to elevate and escalate the great work, and I really do mean escalate, this is why a lot of you need more fire, because you know you need to regenerate. We need to regenerate. And the reason why we have to have this fire is because not enough of us have learned to let go of things because we don't know it's attached to us. They're attached to everything. I'm possessed by an addiction to coffee because when I was a child, I used to be able to sit on my mom's bed on Sundays and drink coffee and read the comics while she read the paper. And it was just like chill time. That's why I drink coffee today. That's why I'm addicted to it. It's a possession I have that I choose, and that when I look at it more, I could see it as a weakness, but then I also look at it as a sentimental kind of a thing. And that sentimentality actually reminds me of who I am. So it becomes important to me. So when I see people going, I'm going to stop drinking coffee, I'm just like, yeah, well, go fucking hate your mother. That's fine. I mean, it's all different to all of us. All of us are using furniture for very different things, right? We pick our own fetishes precisely because, James, did you just say yes, you pick your own fetishes, your taboos. You pick the fetish. The magical definition of fetish is not sexual, guys. All kids are technically, if we're going to call fetish sexual, then I need you to call all imagination sexual. You now need to say all prepubescent boys that happen to have the nerve to imaginate on the playground are now fetishists, because that's what they're doing. They're utilizing the fetish of a rubber bouncy ball. Why? Because they can possess it. Why? Because it's furniture. Why? Because it has texture that water will not easily wipe it off. That they're able to put their sweat, their intent, their dead cells can touch that thing and insert the chemo signals. Chemo signals are pheromones. These are, I think, truly what demons are made out of, is the chemo signature in the air. If you could see aura, you would see the color of my breath. It's probably not pretty. You'd probably see the color of that. I bet if I and then smile, that even the color would change if you could see the aura of that. We remember, we killed our olfactory when we were born. We need to lie to each other to create society, but lying is actually how we heal. Your immune system is built on lies. Your placebo comes from the same place. The functional MRI lights it up. That's why this sounds so dark and evil, what I'm telling you guys, because I'm telling you bias, prejudice, ego, lies. All of this is the magic of fantasy, and this is truly the only tools you have to exercise or possess yourself. To take the plasma ball of you that has your identity and place it into something else. This is Chewbacca, my teddy bear. He's had a rough day. He's been through a lot. Hey, y'all. Look, some of y'all might think I'm a meth head, but look, I've just been loved, okay? I've been fucking loved. I am possessed by the demons of James. Been with him for years. And we also had Butter and Wiley, my dogs. And honestly, James used to have a cat that would hump me sometimes. It was always kind of weird. And so, yeah, I'm losing my fur, but I'm still possessed. It's a demon, too. There's a technology. This is probably why teddy bears have fur. This is probably why totems and fetishes typically have fur, because the insulation gives you a space where heat is held. The downy feathers of a goose allow the bird to be possessed with the spirit of itself. This is what I'm trying to convey to you. This is why your home has walls. You're able to possess it with the demons of my house is clean or my house is fucking trashed. Whichever direction you're in the mood for. If you need more chaos to distract yourself, you're going to clutter your room. If you need more cleanliness to refine yourself, you might baptize and exorcise that mess and turn it into something different. The biggest thing that I think we lose in modern demonology, this is why I wrote the article called Modern Demonology on Substack, please check it out, is because I'm showing you that your modern daily chores, the way you sit at the traffic light, the way that you either have a spiteful feeling about someone or a joyful feeling about someone, that you are exercising and possessing your identity in real time, and that you can change this. I'm not saying you need to change it. I think instead of changing it, you should more focus on just noticing how creative you are. That simply by watching just how creative you are, you really do start to understand and see this HUD, this heads up display, as a different thing. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was 8 years old, I asked Jesus into my heart. I felt it. I felt a place in my chest change. It was weird. It's like a tickling sensation, as if someone had come underneath my ribs and tickled the interior of the outside of my ribs that way. The inside my sacrum tickled. Never felt that before. I was not grown up in a super religious place. I'm actually diet Catholic. I'm Episcopal, so it's like all the ritual but none of the guilt. It's a very superficial religion. That did not happen there. That never would have happened there. It happened in a Baptist church where I stayed overnight with a friend and they fucking converted me, or that's whatever their language is. It was seen as an assault over rationality in my home. My parents found that to be very disturbing. They didn't like that. I don't think I was allowed to go back to that church anymore. I'm fine with it. The point is that this kind of possession is the same. If you read the Bible, you will notice that there's only one thing that is unforgivable. It's so weird. There's only one sin that's unforgivable. It's not murder. You may not blaspheme the Holy Spirit. Don't fucking do it. That is the one rule in the Bible that there's just like there's no penance for that. The ghost itself, the possession itself of all spirit, what I think truly is the Platonic hypothetical realm, this theism, the worship of thee, is the pointing into the hypothetical, the possession into a void space. Dev null, some of you might know, dev/null, is a place. It's a place where you send things in the file, and when they go there, they disappear into latency. They're gone. They're gone, but they're not gone. They're just unseen. They become unseen. They become unseen and processed in the macrophages that we use to destroy things, to exorcise things. And we haven't learned to do that yet because we're insisting that we have judgment. We're insisting that we have no judgment, excuse me. This is electrical resonance. It's electrical identity. You're going to find that demons will sit anywhere that retains dust. I'm not saying dust are demons, although cobwebs really are. It is the time itself is revealing the magic of what was hidden. It's revealing itself to you, right? So all politics, all of you, all of your society, all these things are doing this for you. So we're going to get into this or not. Top 10 ways to exercise your demons. Number 1, name them clearly. When you name a demon, demons have these rules. It's weird. They have these rules. They're simple algorithms because they're just your will. They're just your desire encapsulated into a protein shell like a virus. Very simple things. They're not able to navigate or finagle. They can't deceive you. Demon's not going to be able to convince you to sign over a credit to this or to that. It's just simple urge and will. There's a demon of sales. You'll buy this. You'll buy this. That's a demon possessing you to buy something because someone's injected some of their own essence, their own confidence into you, saying, hey, I'll give you all this melanin if you just buy this because it's the answer, and it really is the answer. And you're so inserted with the torque of their belief, their salesmanship, that their possession of you is quite simply, it moves into you. So you name them clearly. Demons always respect boundaries. Why is that? If they're so evil, why do they respect boundaries? Why is salt a boundary? It's a bilipid layer. It's a bilipid layer that moisture cannot get past until it finally penetrates the salt, right? It takes centuries. Welcome to rocks. Welcome to rocks. So demons actually are conforming to the physicality of the world. They don't stick as well to things that don't have hair. It's hard to possess a bald man's head. You can possess the pores in his head for sure, but not his hair. It's a different kind of possession. Certain insults won't stick. Certain things you try and say won't stick. It's true. Bald man is not really insulted if you call him bald. It's only people that are maybe going to be bald that are insulted by it. Why? Because their hair still collects that shame. This is probably why we decided to grow bald. Like, you know what? I'm going to collect my shame on my back. I want back hair. So you can name these things clearly, but more importantly, you can just respect the boundaries of what they are. You can contain demons, just like Ghostbusters. You can contain them. You can dust your mantle. You can clean out your car seat. You can wash your mug, right? You can make your bed. All these things are exercising or possessing spirit, animism, right? Animism of these things. Cultivate your authenticity would be the third top 10 ways. Not because I only want you to cultivate your authenticity is because you're just a more powerful magician that way. Every single red blood cell that's coming into your heart's being charged with the will of your destiny, saying, I want to mow the lawn, but only half of you is being honest with yourself. You're only going to do half of that job. You're only going to have half of that stuff. So the authenticity is just more about you getting what you want. That's all. This is one of the reasons why authenticity is hard, is not because it's hard to master authenticity. It's because it's hard to master what we want. We really don't know what we want. We really don't. I know that you're convinced you do, but this is a facade that we tell ourselves to create the essence of finding what we want. We sort of, well, I kind of feel like it's over here, maybe. It's the same way you have fear. It's a magnet, it's a compass. But I want you to think about when you want something, the things that you want are not inside yourself. The same way the power pole, the polarity of power is outside of yourself when you feel fear, so too is the polarity of self outside of yourself when you have want. You think yourself is somewhere else. And you know what? This is a good way to move the cursor. Why do you call it a cursor on a computer screen? Think about it. You're conveying your will. You're moving your possibilities. You're clicking on options, but only when you're within the certain place. Same thing as going to the market. Same thing as watching YouTube to see who's online right now, right? Did you hit thumbs up? Did you guys do that? I'm a demon and I'm gonna hit thumbs up. I should subscribe and buy James's new book, yeah. I'm a demon with bias possession. So Demonology, the ancient Greek, just means spirit or entity. That's a spirit of will. Your intent is an entity, right? Next, I want you to channel fear into insight. I want you to utilize that when you're seeing power, you're looking at their posture is all, and you're learning from it. You learn from it by respecting it. You respect their power. I didn't say you're obedient to it. You do whatever you want. If you want to be obedient, that's a good way to learn too, honestly. You go along with it. This is just regulating by force. And honestly, the force is an illusion you've created because ultimately you're just following because you're a follower. Guys, everyone's a follower. Don't let people tell you that no one's a follower. Did you know who the alphas are? They're just dudes that follow this idea. I'll get an alpha. I'll only make my own decisions because I'll get up at 4 in the morning. And because I'll get up at 4 in the morning and go to bed at 4:15 in the afternoon. I'm the one who's leading. I'm tired. It's just like, dude, you're following too. You're following what you think everyone else would expect a leader to be. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys, we're possessing each other. We're living in a giant possession turtle shellback. Just possessed. Bunch of moss possessed, trees are possessed, rivers are possessed, soil's possessed, dirt's possessed, products are possessed, archetypes are possessed, logos are possessed, books are possessed, teddy bears are possessed, cereal boxes are possessed, images are possessed, cartoons are possessed, movies are possessed, governments are possessed, stories are possessed, roads are possessed, copper wires are possessed, fiber optic cables are possessed, space is possessed, every single form of everything that you've ever been told is possessed. We got literally people sticking needles in their own ass to try and be less possessed about being more possessed, about being the winner, because being the winner is possessed. All these things are demons running the world. What's wrong with that? The only thing that's wrong with that is that you just heard someone say, well, demons are evil, because that's all we do is paint it. We've got the Dungeons and Dragons figures to prove it, but it's daemon. It's a computer term. When I first started learning computers, I was like, why do you guys talk about daemons all the time? It's like, oh, because it's the only process that really does name it. You've left your will somewhere, and you're so powerful that your will is able to intricate yourself. It's an ambassador. that the things that come out of you are ambassadors of your will, meaning that ambassadors can't just decide, well, now the king doesn't want peace. That the ambassador goes no matter what happens to him. Even if they chop off the heads of everyone else in his attending party, the ambassador still has this solitary will that he was decreed with by the king, you, and that you possess your ambassadors in the things you make, in the products you create, in the words you write, the words you read or don't read, and in the stories you share, and all the things that you choose to ingest or be possessed by the article itself or the live stream itself or the place itself, that you were pollinating the world by giving witness to these things. This is you being Gaia without knowing it. This is you being the turtle shell, doing what the turtle shell needs. This is why I think your fear is important. This is why if you find someone that doesn't have fear, you're finding someone that's living in a very comfortable situation, and they're probably not going to be comfortable for long. I'm just saying that they're going to atrophy, and that if you're always growing, you're always going to be wanting fear. You're always going to be noticing what things intimidate me, which people do I look up to so much to where it bothers me, to where my awe turns into fear, right? Which means that you would want to constantly have fear in the room the same way you constantly want to have shame in the room, that just these simple textures in the room would decorate yourself, just reminding you of where you came, that this entire time while you were rising up out of the muck, out of the pond scum of this beautiful place, that you emerged building a limbic memory system on the back of your head that just said, oh, that happened, and that happened, and that happened, and I don't like hot sauce, and I don't like triceratops, and I don't like hot sauce, and I don't like triceratops. That this has gotten you this far. This is why I think modern demonology is so important right now. We have an opportunity to tap into this energy, and it's going to only be certain people. 666, there's a good one right there. The shame that you feel about that number is exactly the VIP tent, how hard it is to pull that curtain away. They're going to look around the room and go, yeah, sure, I'm VIP. And to break that malamu, it's the same thing. And all these things are terrible when I'm saying prejudice, bias, and ego, and 666. And I'm telling you that they're terrible because the tinge of being afraid of those things is the compass of fear showing you what's inside. Guys, do you want a historian or do you want someone that shows you how to fucking do magic? Do you want someone that's going to give you the good feelies about demons, or do you want to fucking know how it works? Because I don't think that you're going to be able to survive in this world without being possessed by something. You are a living reef. You have all these holes, these eyeballs are there staring at the world. And the more beauty that you see in the world, the more things collect onto you, that they parasite onto you. Inspiration, music, culture, people, your work, what you eat, what you digest, how you spend your day. All these things are possessions that you opened your reef up to because you wanted them to be there. Yes, you can prune your reef. Yes, you do. Yes, you should. But let's understand who you really are. You are not this solitary, sentient simpleton. You are a living reef that is meant to be occupied. And if you doubt me, I want you to try and plug up all the holes in your body. And if you've managed to do this trick like I did when I was little, you still have to figure out a way to cover up all your pores, that you have to shut those off too. And you can't because you're a sponge. You're a sponge possessed by your essence of who you are. And if you didn't have the space in your bones, there would be nowhere for that heat, for that vortex of I remember who I am to thrive and to cultivate. So fear is leading you into yourself deeper. You find yourself deeper in these things. Number 5, practice intentional rituals. Intentionally pull over if you're not in the right space. Not in the right space could mean I don't feel fulfilled. I'm on my way to the dentist. I'm on my way to the grocery store. Why do I have such a mundanity about this? What can I change about this? You know what? I'm going to dress the fuck up. You know what? I'm going to put on music. I'm going to listen to music while I'm in the store. Why am I doing these things? Because this experience is crucial. This is the only time where I can't be distracted by other things because I have to gather these items that I'm putting in my body. So when I put this in the cart, this is an opportunity for a spell. And I can possess these things, not just by picking it up when I'm in a good mood. Did you hear what I said? By picking up the products when I'm in a good mood, when I'm inspired. I'm listening to James True fucking live. Coming over here, going to pick out some bananas. Look at this. There. Avocado. Fuck it. I'm going to buy an avocado. I know they spoil, but it's kind of like a lottery ticket. It's Gaia's lottery ticket. And I'm going to do that. And you know what? Even if it spoils, there's a giant sphere inside that's never seen the earth. This seed inside the avocado has never seen the outside world. And I would get to open that thing and show the world to it. And this enthusiasm I just told you about this avocado that's probably rotten, because let's be honest, you can't fucking pick them either. But there are people that can do them. It's a lot like 4-leaf clovers. You have to go back to the prior episode. But the fact that you're having this experience, the fact that you will laugh at yourself if it doesn't work out, the fact that you are more inserted into the grocery store, the fact that you are more present, that you are more immersive is going to stop you from having to do other things to remain alive and to asphyxiate. So you want to be possessed by the story that the grapes told you. You want to be possessed by the wondering of what's inside this avocado. You don't even know. You really don't know. You won't know till you get it home. And when you get it home, this avocado's never seen the world. It's a surprise party. You're giving birth to this seed. This is enthusiasm built on plasma, built on excess placebo, built on fantasy, built on egoic shell, built on the possession that I deserve to taste more while I wander through the mundanity. I will no longer be possessed by mundanity. I will no longer be possessed by the atrophy of my neurons as I suffer under the pang of normalcy, of non-bias, of non-prejudice, of disassociating myself from all things, that instead I will touch more. I will know that when I touch something, I am putting my plasmic ebb into the atoms in the fucking door, which is why this car is mine. People know the car is mine. They may not know me personally, but they know when they see the car that this car somehow belongs to someone. How do they know that? Because it's glowing and possessing with you, with your prejudice, with your essence. This is why some of you will put a bumper sticker on your car that gives you unique identity. Why? Because your unique identity is so bright that people who do not know you still see it. It's the same thing. Fashion. Same thing with your face, with what you bring to the world. With all these things, right? So intentional ritual. Harness the power of prayer and affirmations. Why not? Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Are you really losing energy at a red light if you stop and go, you know what? I'm going to pray for all you fuckers at the red light. You? In the Camry? Would you have a fucking good day, man? Would you really feel alive? Would you taste the flavor of whatever you need? You over there in the minivan? I want you to really, really fucking enjoy that soccer game. I want you to really enjoy that. You know why? Because you are building yourself up. You're regulating yourself by casting your possessions on others. You can't help it. Every time you come to that red light, you're going to remember. It'll fade the same way your identity fades. That's why you have to keep remembering. I don't like hot sauce. I like Triceratops. The same way you might have to come back to that red light and put more energy into it. Maybe that avocado seed is the answer. Maybe you take that avocado seed and you place it in the intersection that you go past the most and you bury it at midnight when no one's looking. This isn't even your land. You know, this intersection doesn't belong to you, but now you planted a seed in the intersection. You planted it in the roundabout. And now inside the roundabout is dirt. And every time you go past it, you know that you placed something in there. This is staying alive. This is feeling that you own the space around you. And when you own the space around you, guess what? You can leave your own possessions in that tree because you took the time to play with the furniture, to ebb your plasma into the soil and place that seed in the ground underneath the roundabout. And now when people drive by, you get to claim the credit that the reason why this is uplifting is because I put that fucking seed there because I'm Johnny Appleseed. I'm Jane Appleseed. I'm pollinating the fucking world. I'm making it better. It's his possession. The power of spirit, right? Physically cleanse and purify. Take a shower. It's that simple. Take a shower baptizes all your pores. All the demons that are there would leave. There's still more. There's still more hiding in your pores. Everything that you eat, everything you do is going to be sweated out, right? When you breathe, you kind of have this cloud of Doritos if you eat Doritos and not Doritos. Doritos and not Doritos. And that whiff. All those neuron toxins, if you eat neuron toxins, looking at you, everybody. that all these neuron toxins get louder and louder, and it's our smell. This is why we smear aluminum paste on our undercarriages, because we're trying desperately to exorcise the fucking demon. Why do you think it's metal? Why do you think it's reflective metal? At the heart of all deodorant is the management of demons. It is Demonology 101, my friends. Confront directly and honestly. This is a big one. This is number 8. If you embrace your shitty mood, I don't mean change it. That's not what I mean. If you embrace every mood, even mundanity, and lean into it, you will find that most of the time that hook can be removed and you can pivot it to something else. Pivot it is not always going to be easy. You may only be able to change it by 3 hertz, by 5 hertz, by 6 hertz, right? But it's still changeable. And if you keep doing that, you will eventually lead yourself into a different harbor. This is how you steer. It's the same way I'm going to unpossess from this. I'm going to possess into this. You know what? Fucking Radiohead. I'm going to listen to this song. I'm going to listen to this one. And now you're associating and you're just like, fuck yeah, I'm here. I'm here. And it treats all the other neurons to remind you, hey, you can be awake. Hey, there's enough here. And all it is music. All it is some dude who has weird political views, who's just banging on drums and striking chords at the same time. It's just making noise, just possessing you. So your appetite, what you choose, how you choose this to be, how you choose what your food's going to do. This is why you bless your food. Blessing your food because you're practicing demonology. So make your bad mood flavorful. This a lesson from the blues, right? No one likes the blues. Ain't nobody liking the blues, man. Ain't nobody liking the blues. And you're like, I like that. Ain't nobody liking the blues. I don't like that too. I got blues and I don't like it too. And you're just like, why do I like this? And it's because you were leaning into it. You were leaning into this honor that you have to feel the blues. Have you noticed that? It's true. People are like, well, I lost 3 wives, so I can feel the blues deeper than you. And this sanctity of going through the suck creates another pleasure principle. That's why I'm telling you talking to reptiles, it's all about this formulaic difference, this how these things register in your brain, right? Replace old patterns with new. If you want to exorcise the demon, right? If you want to exorcise the demon, you're just making space for something else to possess you. If you exorcise a demon, I want you to look at it as you're making space for something else to possess you. That's all. That's all you're doing. So the goal is not to cleanse yourself of all demons. Your goal is to find the right demons. You want the right tenants. You want the right tenants. You're a landlord. You want the right tenants, right? I know it's hard. You're like, fucking tenants suck. Do you know what? I know, but you're going to survive. You're a reef. You can do this. And you know how you're going to do it? You're going to enjoy your tenants. You're going to enjoy them. You're going to enjoy these people, right? Enjoy it like the blues, I should say, because that's tricky. Things are tricky, guys. If you want to discuss these more, we have Dojo tonight at 7. You can come check it out and discuss this more. You can also comment on the Substack article I wrote. Modern Demonology. Let me know what you think about that. Let's see. We got old patterns with new patterns and strengthen your will. Strengthen your will is the very last tip I give you, because honestly, strengthen your will, in my opinion, is the least effective thing. And we told about the culture that like hates bias, hates judgment, hates ego, and all they do is tell you have to have more willpower, and you can't. I know how the fucking brain works. It doesn't work that way. You're going to resonate into what you want because there's joy there. You're going to resonate into what you want because the fear, keep in mind, guys, fear is the presence of power outside of you. That's all it is. You're going to be attracted to that. It's going to turn you on. The only reason why it's going to turn you on is because you have room for more power. That's why you feel its signal, even though you can't see auras. You feel the prickly.